So we got on the phone and I'm writing all the cast and I said, what would you say if this, or would you be interested? Is this something you would want to do? And
he's got the time to do this? If you got the time.
We've got the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what was your first reaction to the idea of this revival even happening? And did you ever think in a million years that you'd be Malcolm again?
I mean, I remember we started kind of talking about it over 10 years ago, like 11, 12 years ago. I think Brian and I started talking about it and what the possibility was. And I think I tweeted about it. I couldn't believe the reaction from the fans in general, right? Like just how many people really were eager to know what happened to Malcolm and his family.
Jane reminded me of this, is that the intrinsic value of humor and laughter and people laughing more, I think is something, an elixir that we need in our country right now. It's a good thing. It makes life worthwhile. And so I've been playing a lot of darker characters.
You know, but it was always something that, like, I know Brian was working on and was kind of convincing Linwood, the creator, to come up with a story.
And he at first said, no. And then a year and a half after that, he said, well, I don't think so. And then a year after that, he was like, well, maybe.
We kept hearing things every once in a while that, like, maybe it could be happening. But, you know, I've learned in my life that, like, you really never count on anything until it's officially happening, right? You know, I was, you know, according to rumors, I would have been James Bond, you know, I'm kidding, you know.
And then finally, about 3 years ago, he said, I think I've got it. And I said, what? He goes, here, come over, I'll pitch it to you. And so I came over to his house, he pitched it to me, and I said, that's pretty damn near perfect. So we got on the phone and I'm writing all the cast and I said, what would you say if this, or would you be interested? Is this something you would want to do? And
I mean, it was, you know, having Christmas every day of the year, you know, I mean, you couldn't believe this news, especially since Brian, who is, you know, Brian's working at the National Theater with Evel von Hof. Brian is on the stage and film, you know, and we're like, he's got the time to do this? If you got the time. You know?
We've got the show.
Yeah.
So when I finally got word that it was officially happening, I was absolutely thrilled. I loved the show and you have such a greater appreciation for the show now, obviously having stepped away from it for so long. So getting the opportunity to come back in and be Malcolm again and get to work with everybody again, that's such a rare thing, right? Like, you know, I spent 7 years getting to play a character and it was such a big part of my life. And, you know, to get to go back into that world with the same people and be on these sets again. And it was honestly incredible. And I felt so at home and comfortable. And I had an absolute blast filming the show, 100%.
And it was just so wonderful, the thought of us all getting back together again. And just in this family being together again was, on stage and off, has just been an incredible experience. Happy, happy time.
Yeah, I look different. But hey, everything about me is different.
What was the best or the most rewarding part of stepping back into Malcolm's
You know
shoes?
what was really rewarding is I obviously had a lot of success as a kid being on the show and, you know, getting nominated for awards. And I always think about it and I go like, you know, I really kind of just said the words.
You want to know what the best thing about childhood is? At some point it stops.
It worked, right? The comedy worked, the writing worked, everything about it, like as a whole. I almost feel like I got almost lucky, if that makes sense. Where stepping into it now, you know, I have a different perspective of what the show is, of the comedy we were making, of what it means to have been a part of something that had success like that. And, you know, having a greater appreciation myself of the opportunity. And I really wanted to do a good job, if that makes sense. I wanted, you know, I know that people really love the show and I wanted to make the fans happy and proud.
You know, you get to set the first day, you're ready to reprise Lois. You turn and see Bryan Cranston. What sort of emotions did that kick up for you?
The first scene or when I saw him, because he was naked again when we started filming. You know, we did that. That was the first day of filming.
It's just a normal human body doing normal human behavior. Undergrowth.
Which was the first, you know, the first day of filming last 25 years ago. Arms up. Well, I've always been, you know, had a huge crush on him. He's so happily married. So, But I was just so happy to be able to work with him again because, despite a lot of people, that this was a kid's show, we had scenes that were, when people would say when Breaking Bad started, did you ever have any idea Brian could do? And I said, oh my God, yeah. Because we had moments on that show.
Yeah, we had some good times.
That you just knew what a wonderful actor is. And playing, it was a satisfying acting experience.
And I think that's what made Malcolm so rich is that it was generally a comedy, but there were significant moments of pathos and deepening of the characters and our sensibilities. And just when you think, oh, they're going to go for a joke, oh, they don't go for a joke. Oh, and just when you think they're going to get serious, we go for the joke. We keep the audience just on their heels all the time, so they really have to pay attention. And that's just damn good writing.
Very rarely do I remember in my career as an actor, like getting off set and going home and going like, that went really well. Like, that was really good. I remember kind of thinking like, was it good? I don't know. Could I have done it different? You don't know, where I remember every day filming this revival and there's so much emotion in these 4 episodes that Malcolm goes through. And I remember being genuinely proud and not like talking good about myself, but like it felt good. Like it just, I felt fun and I was really proud of what we were making every day. I remember thinking that. I remember like I have some pretty intense scenes. I remember coming home and going like, I think that was really good. Like I think that like it came across, like I got out of it what I was hoping to get out of it. And that's a pretty cool feeling as an actor to feel confident in what you're doing, because I haven't experienced that much. So I enjoyed that.
The best thing in the whole world is who's inside it. My daughter, Leah.
Now, we learned that Malcolm has a daughter in this revival. What can you say about Leah and also the relationship between father and daughter?
Yeah, I was really excited that Malcolm does have a daughter. She's a lot like Malcolm, a lot of similarities, definitely has his personality.
It's actually worse when he tries hard.
Mixed with the fact that, like, I don't think Malcolm necessarily cared if people liked him. You know what I mean? Like, he just thought like everybody was kind of out to get him, or, he was too smart for his own good type of situation, which she has that too. But she's also like a teenage girl and really wants everybody to like her. So it almost makes it a little more intense what's going on in her brain.
What do I do? Make it seem like I was joking?
Now, there's so much comedic talent on that set over there. Who is most responsible for making everyone break?
I would say there's 2 people. Brian, just because he's an incredible actor, and Hal is so unbelievably funny what they have him doing in the show. But my favorite character of all the Malcolm family is Reese. And I think I laughed out loud the most at Justin and Reese's antics.
You're a tool to help me build my life back. I will always be your tool.
I would say those were the hardest moments to keep it together and get through the scenes for sure.
Now, looking back at the original series, is there one episode you'd point to as your favorite?
There's so many great episodes. I think I have 3. 3. I know that's not the answer you're looking for. You're looking for 1. My favorite episodes are the roller
Hit me with a couple.
The roller skates episode from season 1. The bowling episode, I think it was in season 2 or 3. And then there's an episode called Malcolm's Girlfriend, where you never fully see her face, but he becomes like super obsessed with her, and she breaks up with him, and he's like crying on the ground.
I gave it to you, my soul.
Yeah, those I would say are my 3 favorites that I can remember right now.
There's a episode at the end of the 2nd season called Flashback that starts when the first Francis was born, and this is surprising because we're incredibly well-to-do. We have the hair of a white apartment. I said it looks like Liberace lived in this apartment, and we bring Francis home from the hospital, and within a very short time, crayons are on the wall, and and with each child being born, things are going south.
We're dropping in levels of comfort and cleanliness and order.
This final scene is the children are little. I'm pregnant with Dewey. Malcolm makes a chlorine bomb and gas inside the house.
And he's just a little butt.
I think I might, and everyone has to come out of the house. Things are horrible. I go into labor. Lois goes into labor, and it's a thunderstorm, and we're out drenched, just at each other's throats. And Lois says, you have to tell me, we can't go on this way. We can't. I don't mean this. This is always going to happen. But you and I we can't go on like this. And I need you right now to tell me 7. You're going to tell me 3, no, 5, no, 7. You tell me 7 things you love about me. And you have to tell me now, and they have to be good. And then she has a contraction. And we're drenched.
We're crying and
And Hal says
pressured.
to her,
I said, I love that each of your toes looks like it came from a different foot.
and the things he says to me, I love that every time I walk in a room, you still suck in your gut. And they're the most beautiful, intimate, tiny things that in a marriage mean everything.
That's love. That's actually where love resides, isn't it? It's in the tiny things. It's not the grand gestures.
And for these writers to know these 2 characters and for us to be able to play that scene together
so good.
has always been just a real favorite of ours, I think.
I love that nothing in my life is complete until I've shared it with you.
Now, without diving into too many spoilers, can you tell me a little bit about your favorite scene to shoot from this revival?
I enjoyed the closure or the semi-closure that you get in the last episode with Malcolm and Lois. Even just to film that, like the emotion, I don't know, like a lot came out of me when we were filming it, and I just enjoyed it. I don't know, even though it's a really intense moment, I enjoyed getting to do that with Jane. You know what I mean? As an adult, you know what I mean? As a like. Everything that we're talking about in the scene, like I could not necessarily relate with, but like, I don't know, it felt authentic. And I think that's a pretty cool feeling to have as an actor, that it feels real. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I enjoyed that.
Do you kind of view this as like a one and done event series, or do you think maybe you'll play Malcolm again even further down the line?
I'll say this, I would love to be Malcolm again. I think the intention of this was just these 4 episodes. Like, I don't think, it's being made with the intention of like, as like a test or like that more could come from it. But, you never know what will happen. I think if people love it, maybe, but that wasn't, like I said, the intention. It was, originally it was written as a movie, to be honest. So like, it would start and an hour and a half later it would end and that would be it. But, we're calling it 4 episodes. It's one storyline that kind of goes over those 4 episodes. But I think that was all the intention of filming this.